Travel Thursday lined up for you, and we're talking about a place in Europe that you're probably already familiar with, that I think a lot of you will want to visit, Italy. Now, my guest today is Preethi Parthasarathy, the founder of Peppy Travel Girl. Thank you so much, Preethi, for joining in. We're having a bit of an issue with the bandwidth because you're joining in from the Andamans, and I have no qualms in saying that I want your life. Could you tell us a little bit about Italy, though? What should an Indian traveler bear in mind if they want to visit?
Right, absolutely. I think Italy is one of those destinations that has been on the tourist map for as long as I can remember. And it's one of those countries that's always going to be on the tourist map with good reason, right? Because there's so much of history over there, so much of heritage, stunning landscapes, there's so much of amazing food. And, just generally, La Dolce Vita just continues to attract people from around the world. I think for anybody wanting to visit Italy, the first thing to keep in mind would be the best time to visit, because Italy is, towards the south of Europe, and it can get really, really hot. So even though summer months usually popular times to travel, I always recommend March to May or August to October, and even better would be the shoulder months. Sometime towards late Feb, spilling into towards early March, and end of October, spilling into so the weather is still a little pleasant. It's not too hot, it's not too cold, it's great. But fewer tourists because the peak tourist season hasn't begun, and prices tend to fall in that time as well. So for anybody who really wants to cut costs, which is actually something that we all try to do, right, when we're traveling to get bang for our buck, I think shoulder season is a great time to visit. Yeah.
Okay, there's so much to see, right? And there are, popular anecdotes that one can talk about. If you're talking about an evening in Roma, or if you're talking about Venice and the gondola is there, you're talking about the Leaning Towers of Tower of Pisa. What would you recommend as the ideal time that one should give if they're thinking of going to Italy, and what are the places that you must absolutely visit?
Right. So I think Italy requires at least a minimum of 2 weeks if you really want to get, a taste of the country, north to south, just a little bit of difference in culture and just flavors all over the place. So I think, although like a lot of us do tend to do, these short rush trips to Europe, where we would like to spend maybe 5 days maximum, I think Italy has so much more to offer than just Rome and Pisa. There is so much more to see. And my top 3 destinations, surprisingly, do not include any of the ones that you mentioned just now. So the top one that I always say, the one place that you absolutely must not miss when you go to Italy would be Cinque Terre. So Cinque basically means 5 and Terre means land. So what Cinque Terre is, it's 5 villages that are connected together by rail and by hiking trails. And the best thing to do over here would be to hike the hiking trail, starting from the very last village of Monte Rosso al Mer, all the way down to Rio Maggiore. So you will be passing Cornelia, Vernazza, and Manarola on the way, covering all 5 villages. It is a little strenuous, I will admit, but honestly, it is right by the cliff. The hiking trails are along the cliffside, they're raw, they're rugged, and you will see the Ligurian Sea sparkling right next to you. And every time you get to a village, you get to explore it, the quaint cafes and cobbled streets, and just stop there like for a slice of pizza or a gelato, hit the beach, go for a dip, and then head on your way again. This might need more than a few days, maybe a couple of days to cover all the hiking trails, but the option to do 1 or 2 always exists. The second top destination for me would be Positano, which is a pretty little town along the Amalfi Coast. And I think it is one of the most spectacular destinations in the world, not just in Italy. Positano has a rocky beach with black pebbles that goes into the water. And all of this is set against the landscape of a city that seems to be cascading along a cliff. And I feel like that is the ideal definition of romance. It's where you can slow down. It's where you can enjoy life. It's where you can just take a step back from all of your hectic traveling and just peace out a little bit. And it's obviously something that Instagram dreams are made of. So I think that's something that everybody looks forward to these days. Sorrento Positano, the Amalfi Coast, is also really famous for lemon. And you will find so many lemon delicacies when you're over there, right? From lemon slushies along the road when you're walking to lemon-based dishes. And I would highly recommend trying the lemon risotto at a restaurant overlooking Positano after the sun has set. And I think that is one experience that one should definitely have when you're in the south of Italy. The third destination that I want to talk about over here is the Dolomites, the Italian Alps right up in the north. These are accessible from Venice and are a dream for people who enjoy being in raw nature and hiking. because this whole area has some incredible hiking trails. If you're short on time, like I was, I just had a day to visit Cortina Riampezzo and back. I'd taken a bus. It took me 3 hours to travel from Venice early in the morning to Cortina. I could visit parts of Falzarego, go on a short hike, take the last bus back. But if you have a little more time on hand, I think spending a good 3 to 4 days in Cortina or in the area over there in the Dolomites, just going on hikes, trying the gelato, experiencing a very different form of Italy to the sun and sand. This would be a colder, more intimate kind of an experience right up in Italy. And I
Right.
just want to add that Rome is the most popular destination. And although it doesn't make it to the top cities to visit in Italy, I think it is a wonderful mix of history that is smack in the center of a city so cosmopolitan. It's like two different times exist, and when you're walking through the city, it almost feels like you're traversing through
Right.
time just to experience a whole other setup in time. Yeah.
I'm so glad that I asked you that question, and this is the reason why we have travel experts like yourself on the show, because you get to bust the stereotypes and tell us to look beyond what is popularly known. Preethi, thank you so much for taking the time, and I really look forward to our next chat because I'm already excited about where you want to tell us to go next.
Yep, look forward to that.
All right.